Hey, you guys, welcome back, you guys. We are I'm supposed to be vlogging this week, you guys, on this Friday. However, we had situations. You guys, before I get started, you already know the spiel. Subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and click the bell for notifications. We load every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also, share the video and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And also engage with me in the comments, you guys. So you guys, you know I have my little schedule going on. That's what I get for even speaking it out. I said Monday was going to be Storytime. Wednesday was going to be the You Say What show, which I actually did. And Friday is supposed to be vlogging or watch a movie or advice or something like that. But you guys, my schedule kind of got mixed up. I just want to let you guys know next week I would definitely be on track. Oh Lord. So this week I decided to take a social media income class, and it's given by a guy named Spectacular. If you guys ever heard of the group Pretty Ricky. So he had a class, and I was wanting to know how to take my social media to the next level, how to make income, all the different stuff. You know, guys, folks is multimillionaires off social media, and I am next to be a millionaire, okay? And so I did some research on them, because you know everybody's selling everything, and I don't get caught up in all these different programs that people have on different platforms and stuff. I just don't. But this was something that really piqued my interest because of the reviews behind him. So this guy, Spectacular, is, you know, in the group, but he does this, and he does it like on a whole nother level, you guys. Like, he works with B. Simone and Mighty Duck and all these prominent people where he built a social media platform. So the class was supposed to, I signed up for the VIP class, and the class was supposed to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Well, he gets to give us all this information, and because we're in VIP, we've been on those, the Zoom thing that we log into, or the webinar that we log into, we've been on there till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So we get on at 7 my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. And then, okay, so I'm stopping. There's something in the road, you guys. And we're not getting out till 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, holy smokes, this is intense. But when I tell you, it is good stuff. It is good stuff. So you guys, today, instead of me doing vlogging, because I haven't been able to do anything this week besides that class, then we got homework and all that different stuff. Woo. So we do story time. So I'm on my way to pick up a friend of mine's that I've been known to take her somewhere this morning. And let's do story time, you guys, so I can talk and go and still get my content out. Woo, look, whoa. My kids gonna cringe when they see that little part. So you guys, I'm gonna tell you this story about my daughter, my oldest daughter. Her name is Brittany, but we call her Pooh. The reason why we call her Pooh is when she was born in 1990, and when your child was probably like 3 or 4 months old, it wasn't a snowsuit, you guys. Just a backstory. It wasn't a snowsuit there wasn't any snowsuits that would fit her. So what people in the 90s did, and if anybody have any 90s babies, you can attest to this. They had these little smaller snowsuit thingies, but they were made out of fur. They were like these little hat and a little thing like this. You know how the kids look in snowsuits. And we bought her a yellow one. So we put her in, and she looked like Winnie the Pooh. So her nickname is Pooh Bear. She's gonna kill me. But she's on YouTube. Her name is Faces by Brittany. Go follow her if you want to. She has my daughter does makeup. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So this is my Pooh story, the one that I hid in the closet, girl. The one I hid in the closet on and jumped out, her. So she was going to the daycare. Now, I lived in this building, this high-rise building where me and Pastor LaMonica used to stay at. Remember Pastor LaMonica, y'all? So there was a daycare across the street. So everyone from that building mainly took their kids across the street to that daycare that was directly over there. And then there was one that was going across the bridge. But why am I going across the bridge when I can trot across the street, honey? So Pooh went there. My oldest son, Lorenzo, went there. His name is G. So if you hear me say G, we're talking about my oldest son. So G and Lorenzo went to that daycare. I think Pooh was probably about 4 or 5. Now, one thing I did with my kids when I will put them in daycare, if I put them in daycare, I didn't bounce them around. They, for the most part, stayed at their daycare. So they probably only went to probably about 2-3 daycares the span of their time, and maybe one little boys and girls club or something. So everybody, Pooh had been at that daycare since she was, you know how you could take them like at 6 or 8 weeks or whatever, maybe 2-3 months. You know, infant room, then go to the little toddler room. So she's over there, and Pooh had to be about 4. I wouldn't even say she was 5 because she would have been in school. So she was 4. And so everybody loved my kids. I was real nice. Honey, this thing done bounced around. Sorry about that, y'all. Hey. So everyone, you know, I knew the teachers there. Thank God the teachers there were teachers that had a passion for what they did. They stayed at that daycare. It wasn't a whole lot of teachers moving around quitting, and then you got a new teacher that your child got to get used to and all of that different stuff. So when Pooh and G would go to the daycare, well, since the story is about Pooh, when Pooh would go to the daycare, she's running in there because she got a little best friend over here and she got a little playmates. And so it was never an issue, you guys, where I would drop Pooh off and she would start crying or didn't want to be at the daycare. Now, she wasn't clingy. She wasn't a clingy child like that. And so, because she was comfortable with everybody. You know, if she went over, if I took her to the daycare and she had an attitude that morning, you know, maybe I got her up too early, or, you know, we got to get the day started. She 4 years old. Day starts at 6. Come on, sister, put your little shoes on. I don't care if you got them on the right feet or not. You got 2 shoes on. We're going to find your sense of direction. Now, you may not be able to get there fast because you don't know which way you're supposed to be going. Feet going this way. They'll fix it at the daycare. Let's get you to the daycare. I swear, y'all, my kids' feet was never, shoes was never on the wrong feet. I'm just playing. And nor did they have snotty nose. I don't like snotty nose kids. Honey, I dig all in them crusty noses. So I took her on over there or whatever, and she would have a blast, go over there and get them. And then most times when I would go pick them up, honey, the kids act like they didn't want to come home. Look, playtime over. First of all, I'm over here hot sweating because I didn't have a car. So I'm hot and sweating, and I'm trying to pick you up. Honey, let's go. We got to get what we need to get. And you up in here, you know, playing or whatever. Don't want to stop playing with the little blocks. So I would come pick her up. So this one particular teacher, they got a new staff member. I don't know what happened to the other staff members, but the other staff member that was in the same room with Pooh, but I don't know. I don't know if the one lady went to a different room and somebody quit in the back room. I wasn't privy to that information. So they got a new girl that was in there. She was a young girl. Now, mind you, I was young at that time too, maybe in my 20s, not even 25. Probably about 23 or something like that. So they got a new teacher that was in there. And, you know, for a good little span of time, Pooh was still all right. She was having, you know, go over to daycare, get to running, get to having fun, da-da-da-da-da. Let me tell you something. If you ain't got a passion for something, you guys, don't do it. I don't care who hired. Let me tell you something. I love the babies, but I ain't working with the babies. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to mistreat your baby, but I'm not going to go work at a daycare. I'm just not. Now, I love old people, so I've done home health aid because and I've done nursing home because I love old people. I just think they're hilarious. I don't care if they're cranky, whatever. I love older people, but I'm not going to get a job with no kids. I ain't about to be no school bus monitor because I don't like kids like that, and they be up there, kids just be doing too much. My grandbaby wears me out. Sister Coco, when she comes down, she wears me out. But that's my grandbaby, but after about a couple of hours, y'all gotta go home, get out. I done kicked my grandbaby out plenty of days, her and her mammy. And when my grandbaby get to cutting up, I was like, all right, y'all go home because you're messing up my feng shui and my ambiance I got going on in here. And my daughter would tell her, come on, Coco, you always getting us kicked out. You did that yesterday. Bye, baby. And she just be waving, don't know she doesn't get kicked out, honey. So I said, I don't even know how I got over there. Okay, so don't do a job that you don't like, but you guys are grown enough to know that, okay? But sometimes, honey, you got to do what you got to do, but I would rather go in a factory and do what I got to do than to be, I'm not going to go work at a daycare. Just not. So, I didn't notice it in the beginning, But when I would start taking Pooh over to the daycare, when I would go, to walk in the door, and normally she runs through the door halfway through her coat, I wouldn't put it in the cubby hole or whatever. She just started like pushing back like this on my leg, and I'm like, girl, go on, I gotta get to work. At this time I'm working at Kentucky Fried Chicken, y'all. So I got to go sling this chicken meat around here. So I go on and get in there. I'm not paying her no, never mind. Now, how long it was before I paid this some attention, it just didn't dawn, you guys. You be young, you got a lot going on, your relationship ain't right, you got 2 kids and you're struggling and you miss stuff. So don't judge me. You miss stuff. You miss little cues. But now that I'm older, baby, I be picking up cues, y'all, that ain't even there. I'm on some paranoid type stuff. I'm like, did they just roll their eyes at me? They were like, girl, she has something in her eye. Now, I don't miss a beat because I'm aware and I done been through too much stuff. So you ain't gonna too much get anything over on me. It take a whole lot. If I can't catch it, then I'm gonna run it past somebody, to see what they see or whatever. So by this time, I don't know how long it was, but I finally caught it. So Pooh didn't want to go in there. She's like, I want to go home with you. I want to go home with you. She never said that before. She used to just grab me and I would push her in the door, and then she would just kind of sulk and go in. I'm like, oh Lord, she just got a little attitude or whatever. But this time she was like, I want to go home with you. And I'm like, why? And then she just kind of turned her, leaned into me and turned her head toward me. I was like, why do you want to go home? What's wrong? Your friends is here. Miss So-and-so, the teacher that was already there, not the new girl. I ain't really know the new girl like that. I spoke to her a few times, but I never really knew her. So I was like, Miss So-and-so here, and she was like, come on, Brittany, come on. No, they called her Pooh. Come on, Pooh, come on. And so Pooh would go in there, but she would cling to the teacher. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? So I'm like, okay then. So I had to still go to work, you guys. It ain't like Kentucky Fried Chicken gave you no PTO and vacation, but I had to go to work. But I was like, all right, Pooh, I'm gonna see you later. And she was just like holding on to to the teacher. And she was like, all right, mommy, bye. And I'm like, all right. So then the next day we go, and when I came home, when I picked her up, I said, you okay? Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So then I went and took her the next day. Drop G in his room, he fine. He take out Pune, he just running. So I go with Pooh to take her because his room was in the back. And so I would drop her off in the front when I'm about to leave out the door. And she's like, I want to go home with you. And I was like, why you don't like the daycare no more? What's going on? Why? You ain't never, you never really act like that before. And she was like, I just want to go home with you. And I was like, well, I got to go to work. I said, well, I'm going to come get you. And she was like, okay, I want to go home with you. And I'm like, you can't go home with me because I'm not going home. So by this time, I'm like, okay, then. Let me see. I said, what is going on? Y'all, this man is driving so slow. Who grandfather is this? Now, hold on. Who let him out the nursing home? Child, he done grabbed his keys off the desk at the nursing home, Mr. Willie, and took that car and left the nursing home as old as that man is. That's why he out here driving 32 miles an hour on the highway. Anywho, back to the story. So I finally talked to her, and I said, when I picked her up that day, and I said, what's wrong? She was like, I don't like it no more. And I was like, why don't you like it? And then she was like, I just don't like it no more. I said, listen, you had to tell me what's going on. Don't hold any secrets. Is one of the kids bullying you? She was like, no. I said, what's going on? Is it one of the teachers? And she just started crying. And I'm like, is it Miss So-and-so? And I'm thinking, I know it ain't the older lady. She was like, no. And I was like, is it the other lady? I don't remember what that new girl name was. And she was like, she be pinching us. Baby, y'all lucky I can't stop this car. I said, she be what? She said, she'll pinch us. And she was like, she pinched me. And I'm like, how she pinch you? I'm thinking maybe she was, reaching out for her arm and maybe, did it like this. She said she walk and she go like this. When we do so, she be like this. So I guess she was acting like she would grab their arm and then she would smush their skin, trying to be slick. Baby, I couldn't wait to get. I said, how many times she do that? She was like, she be doing it like a lot of time to the kids. Ooh, woo, baby, hey, baby, let me tell you something. I said I'm gonna deal with it tomorrow. Baby, let me tell you something about me. Skirt, whole day. Y'all been here for my earlier video. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I will knock your head straight up off your head and laugh about it over your head rolling down the street. That's how I am. Other than that, I'm even killed. But if you get me to the point that I want to fight you, then I'm about to show completely out for the simple fact, and I was tomboy anyways, I'm about to show completely out because I'm not that person. I'm pretty much even killed. But if you push me to the point that I want to fight you, then I'm going to tear you up because now you done totally got me out of character. So this Sherry that you see here, I love to giggle, is not the one where you mess with my kids. Like, bruh, come on. Y'all know how it is about the kids, especially the mamas. Baby, you know how it is about the kids. And the daddies too. Baby, we don't play about the kids. So, I go up to the daycare, poop the next day, drop G off. I said, where the director at? I knew the director and everything. I said, I need you to get old girl in here. And she was like, who? I said, Miss So-and-so. And she was like, what's going on? I said, Pooh told me that she's pinching the kids. She was like, what? I said, never had this incident at this daycare. Like I told you, my Pooh had been at that daycare for years. I said, Pooh says she's pinching them. And so she was like, okay, did you want to? I said, I need to talk to her now. I ain't coming back for no conference. I ain't coming back because I'm about to tear this daycare up. So I need you to get her in here. Baby, let me tell you, if somebody ever accused me of something, I'm going to like deny it, especially if it's not true. I'm gonna like, girl, no, I ain't do that. I'm just going off. You just not gonna put that on me because that's my reputation, and that can get you locked up there abusing them kids and picking with them kids, and you'll get this whole daycare in trouble, you know. So we don't play like that. Man, that girl came up in there, and I told her, I said, my daughter said that you pinched her. She was like, what? And she's smiling the whole time. No, you ain't smiling. But no, you ain't. I'm talking to you about some real life stuff and you grinning. You got me stuck. So she had this dumb smirk on her face. Let me tell you something. I'm 51 now. I will control myself because I know I got stuff to lose. Because you get older, you just don't be real sporadic like that. You know, just pop off like that. Because you kind of talk yourself off the cliff because you be like, man, I ain't trying to get locked up. I ain't trying to get no record. I ain't trying to get in no trouble. I ain't trying to get, in trouble with the police. Baby, but when I was 23, I ain't care about none of that. I don't care about no criminal record. I don't care about you get an assault charge. It's going to mess you up for the rest of your life. Baby, all I know is you messing with my baby right now, baby, and it's about to be a show enough assault. So back then when I was 23, I don't care nothing about no criminal record. It is what it is. You going to give me a record, I'm going to get a reason to get a record. Baby, she kept smirking. So the daycare, the director lady asked her, are you doing this? And she was like, no. But she had this smirk. Girl, I can't call y'all girl because there's men on here. Y'all, baby, I got up because we're sitting at a table. Director lady here, I'm over here with Pooh on one end. She's over here in the chair on the other end. I got up to walk over. I said, let me tell you something. I'll break that smile up off your face. Girl, let me tell you something. I mean, y'all know I only talk to females. Don't take it to heart, y'all. I said, girl, I'll break that smile up off your face. Tell me how you gonna break somebody's smile. How do you break a smile? But that's the level. If somebody tell you I'm gonna break your smile, baby, you better step back because that's a level of breakerdom that you ain't really, it's so far-fetched, but you don't even want to try to see somebody try to break your smile. What do you do, twist their lips up and break it in half? Baby, she quit smiling. I said, let me tell you something. If I find out you pinching my daughter, I said, I'm gonna whoop your all through this daycare, honey. I said, ain't nobody gonna help you. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. Ain't nobody gonna stop me at all. Baby, that smile dropped up off her face. I told the director, I said, this is what we gonna do. Honey, you would have thought I owned that daycare. I said, this is what we're gonna do. I said, in the afternoon, Miss So-and-so leaves. So she's, when the older teacher left in the afternoon, because the amount of kids is enough for one teacher to watch with their little ratio. I said, I don't want my daughter in there. I want my daughter in there with her alone because ain't no telling what she doing. I said, if you put your hands on her, I'm tearing you up, and I ain't gonna lie. I said, I'm gonna whoop you in here, and I'm gonna wait for you to come outside, and I'm gonna beat you some more. Quit playing with me. I said, so what we're gonna do is, I said, I want my daughter to go in the room with G. Now, G was like maybe 3 years old, so that was like a different room. I think they had a 2 to 3 or whatever they setup was. I said, I want her to go in there with him until I come pick them up. She said, we can definitely accommodate you. She said, but I tell you what, if you are doing this, we're going to prosecute you. We're going to be investigating, so you better not. So some time went on, honey. Did nothing go on. Pooh was okay with going in the room. You know, even when she was there with the older teacher throughout the days. Baby, but something must have popped off, and she pinched somebody else's kid, smushing them like this. Honey! Baby, that little girl told, they fired her. They fired her, and then come to find out, other little kids kept saying that she would pinch them, and they was like, what is she doing? And come to find, hold on, we're going across the railroad track, y'all. Woo, wasn't that a puppy bag? Said that she would come up and act like she was grabbing their arm, like, come over here, but she was doing them like this and rolling their skin. I said, you evil heifer. And when I found out she got fired, I was like, where's she at? They did not tell nobody. They fired her as soon as she came in, got her up out of there. I think she used to come in like at 6 in the morning because it opened up at 6. They got her straight up out of here. If they pressed charges on her, I don't know. But it was a number of different kids that came through there. Y'all, it's so much going on today. I just, even back then. And that's why some people are so leery about putting their children in daycare, or they would rather, you know, leave them. God forbid it could happen anyways, because you can't say leave them with a family member. Something could happen there, but God forbid why so many moms and dads are scared to take their kids to daycare. Or like my grandchildren, they say they're not putting them into daycare and summer camps until they can really talk. Because as a child or a baby, they wouldn't have been able to communicate that to me. You just would have been getting hit across the head or pinched or whatever. As a baby, you cry it out, but there's nothing that you could do to tell your mom what's going on. So, you guys, that was my story time, but baby, it would have been some show enough furniture moving and head slamming, baby. It sure would have. So that experience, that was one of the only experience I ever had with a daycare. I had one other experience, and I'll tell you guys about that on Monday. Honey, what a woman said she was gonna put my son in the microwave. I would not make this up. I would not make this up at all. So that daycare to this day is shut down because there was so much going on at that daycare. It was just ridiculous. You guys, you have a wonderful weekend. It is Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Get out, get some sun, do something. Put your sunscreen on, honey. I put some sunscreen on me. I got to put some on my grandbaby because she coming in here. She was light-skinned in it when she came to my house. But since she been outside, sis is a little chocolate bunny, honey. So I got some kids copper tone. We're going to put some SPF on sis because sis is a little chocolate drop right about now due to the summertime. You guys have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for all your support, and we will be back on Monday. Peace.